Really appreciate you all being here. This is it's been a very hard 48 hours. The toughest decision that I've had to make, maybe ever, and that's because of how much I love this place, UNM, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The fans, our entire setup here has been amazing. It really came down to making the decision to have
On March 30th, 2013, the University of New Mexico head basketball coach Steve Alford announced that he was leaving the program to become the head coach at the University of California, Los Angeles. The announcement shocked the basketball community around the nation, but more so rocked the community of Albuquerque. Alford's announcement came just days after agreeing to a 10-year deal with UNM and a bitter loss to Harvard in the first round of the NCAA tournament. UNMerciful is an attempt to explain why Alford's early exit matters. The film examines money, loyalty, honesty, and integrity under the microscope of the people that call Albuquerque home.
Just pretty much, he signed a new contract, really, and people thought he was going to be here for another decade, and then just to see him go up and leave after doing that, that really felt like he betrayed the fans, and he betrayed the program, and just seemed like I'd rather, go to, one of the most historical basketball programs in the nation than stay at Little New Mexico. But I think what also heard is that other coaches like Brad Stevens of Butler and Shaka Smart of VCU stayed because they were the first options that UCLA wanted and didn't get. So then they went after Steve Alford, and he obviously accepted the job. And a lot of people said, "Hey, why are you leaving us? We've been so successful the last couple of years. Why don't we just leave us and hang us out to dry, pretty much?" And a lot of people feel like he just stabbed us in the back.
I guess the weird thing to me was like he was supposed to be signing a deal, to raise his contract to like $2 million a year with bonuses, and just telling everybody I'm sticking around, and like just a couple days after that, all of a sudden, I'm going to UCLA. So it was kind of a surprise.
We were getting ready to go into the tournament. We had these really high hopes for the tournament, and with Alford agreeing to a 10-year contract, it was just like the cherry on top. I think I and the rest of the community were just really excited about that. I think I was just to the point where I was starting to come to grips with it and say, okay, well, we're going to get back on the horse next year, and to have Alford make the announcement that he was leaving then was just like a kick in the gut times two. It was like, we're already down, and now we're getting kicked while we're down.
It was more shock than anything. People were just, the jaws dropped when they heard the news. They couldn't believe it. Pretty much the savior of the basketball program is leaving. The Messiah has left the building, and people were just, they couldn't believe it. And when you have that much success and you leave a program just out of the blue, like he did, that's really what he did. There's no other way about it. He just left out of nowhere, and people can really accept that. If then maybe if he hadn't signed that extension, I think things definitely would have been different.
Yeah, I think they'd be mad no matter what. I really do think it's just a money thing. Like, it was like 2.6 instead of what he could make of $2 million with bonuses. Base salary is lower, but with bonuses he could make the thing. His argument was, I think like the storied history of UCLA, but I don't know. In my opinion, UCLA hasn't been that good in a while, so.
From what I've heard, they were pretty upset about it. Because they were at a community event, and they got some texts saying that Steve had left, and then they went to the pit, to the locker room, and then they met with him, and then I heard it was pretty emotional. Like, guys were upset about it. That was the first reaction. A lot of emotion, a lot of, wow, how can you be doing this right now? After all this success we've had. And now with the hiring of Neil, they're a lot better than they were when Alfred left, so they're pretty happy right now. because they want Neil. It was obvious. The fans wanted him. The players wanted. Everybody wanted Neil, and to hire him, that brings the continuity back. Everyone's going to be back, so they're pretty happy with the decision.
You know, is the program still going to continue on strong after he leaves? And I think it is with Neil coming back as being the coach, because he did a lot of the recruiting.
Yeah, I'm very proud of our basketball program. I mean, I've been a Lobo fan my whole life. I grew up here in Albuquerque, and furthermore, my family is a very basketball-oriented family. We've been huge basketball fans my whole life, so I view the program as being truly excellent. I think it has been excellent over the years. Of course, it's had better seasons and worse seasons, but I really think we're starting to get into our prime.
People love the Lobos, especially the basketball team. It's always been the thing, because football has never really been that good. The basketball team has had successful years. In the 70s they were pretty good, but the Lobos were struggling until 2007 when Coach Alford became coach. And then that year, that's when really everything changed. The Lobos started to win again, and Coach Alford, he really just changed the dynamics of the program. Obviously, he led them to new heights. They won the Mountain West Conference, or at least a share of it, I think 3 or 4 times. They won the tournament title the last 2 years. And you never want to see the person who pretty much brought the program into national prominence leave. You never want to see that happen, but unfortunately that's what happens in college sports nowadays. There's no loyalty, so it wasn't shocking when he left.
It wasn't that Steve Alford had left us. It was the way he did it. It was like being married to him for a few years, deciding we were going to renew our vows, and a few days later he came to us and said, "Oh, hey guys, you know that school with a little bit more money than you and a little bit more of a reputation? Well, I'm leaving you for them." Meanwhile, everybody in Albuquerque was sitting here saying, "Hey Steve, you said 10 years. It matters because it is evidence that loyalty in college basketball, or any sport for that matter, is rare. We thought we had it, and we were wrong.